Alright, so we are going to go through the quiz. I'm going to go through each question, how you should have done it. What I want you to do is if you miss any of these, either on the back, on the side, somewhere, be fixing these. That way you don't make the same mistake on the test. Ask whatever questions you have. I'm going to go through the points, go through common mistakes, go through all of those things.
Are you kidding?
Alright, so for number 1, we need to translate this into an algebraic expression. So this should have been 4 times, so we're multiplying, the sum of, so everything here is going to be inside parentheses, the square of, so not square root and 1. So it should look like this, 4 parentheses n squared plus 1. Some of you put the square on the outside, but it didn't say 4 times the square of, it said 4 times the sum of.
So do we correct it?
You can, yep. You won't get the points back from correcting it, but it will help you not make that same mistake on the test. Also, the test grades will replace the quiz grades in better.
Yes.
Wait, so do you like average all these out, or are they their own grade?
Each one is their own quiz grade.
Okay, this is just somebody.
No, like the next
Is wait, when's the test?
After the show house. Today. After the show house.
I got
Alright,
that.
so the 3 points
Light.
were, did you get each operation correct? The multiplying to the parentheses, the square, and the plus. Some of you switched the n squared and the 1. I accepted that because addition is commutative, but in reality we should be writing it in the order it says. Right, other questions on that one? There were a bunch of different answers for 2. I'm going to give you like the most basic. You have to write out negative. But then you could have put 1/2 or half. Negative 1/2 times multiplied by any of those. But you needed to multiply it to the difference. Of. Then you could have said 3 times n and 2. Some of you were putting the difference and minus, so you were putting it twice. Don't do that. If you use difference, you already have the minus covered. Don't put it again. Some of you were putting 3 and a number, but not saying what operation is going on between 3 and n, so make sure you're writing all those different things. So the 4 points were the negative times the difference and times. So some were naming those different operations. Right, questions on that one? Right, next section. This question had a lot of us confused. So here we should have combined these like terms. A lot of your paper says order doesn't matter. I'm talking about this order specifically because it's commutative. 3 times 4 is the same as 4 times 3, so you could combine those two. Whether you put MP, M, or PM doesn't matter. Now this order matters, the order in which you put each thing, but not when you combine those two.
So, did you like add or subtract or multiply whatever 8 MP and 19 PM? Are they the same?
Those are like terms. Because the order does not matter. PM, MP, that order does not matter. Okay, so that was 3 points. Did you combine these, and leave this alone correctly? Other questions on that one? That was a commonly missed one. So just don't make that mistake again for the test if you see a question on top. This one, for the most part, we did fine. Distribute the 1/6 and the negative 3/4. Trying to remember answers. 2x plus 8 minus 18x plus 30. So some of us got this wrong because we put minus 30 instead of plus. So double check your math. Then combine like this. That wasn't 8. That was 4. So the 4 points for that were, did you distribute both pieces correctly, and then did you combine both terms correctly? Questions on that one? For the most part, we did this fine. We just didn't show all of our steps. So moving forward, make sure you're showing every single step. Starting with putting whatever it is in exactly as given. With these, you should be using parentheses, not so much dots. But if you put dots, I didn't have that wrong. So put everything in first, then you can start to simplify. So multiplying all those together, and then simplify again, subtract or add. And then here's where some of us miss like half of a point here. You have to drop the absolute value before you can add. And then some of you were doing the opposite. Some of you weren't putting the absolute value and then just adding. So you need both. Keep it in the absolute value until there's nothing else left to do. Then drop it, then add. Yes.
Will it be different if you keep the absolute value? So it doesn't matter.
So just mathematical rules. Because next unit we're going to be solving absolute value equations, and you will not be able to do that. It will give you different answers. Right? So the 5 points here were, did you put in everything correct? Did you simplify both pieces correct? Did you simplify this correct and then get the correct answer? Other questions on that one? And then 6 was very similar. Make sure you have everything put in. Start to simplify individually. And then keep simplifying. So answer should have been 9 points wise. 1 for putting everything in correctly. For simplifying this piece, this piece, this piece, and this piece. Simplifying all of these and then getting the correct answer. Was your 7 points. Do you have any questions on that one? Have any questions on how something was graded? You can't reset things because when I grade, I write kind of sloppy. Now would be your pass. For the most part, show your work. Show as much work as possible. Then you can at least get partial credit. Partial credit will always be a half. Most things are just 1 point apiece and then half credit. For the most part, these translate to the same pointage on the test. Some are a little slightly different. Do we have any questions about any of this material in general before you guys take your tests? Anything you have questions on calculator questions, review questions, anything like that? Yes. Test will be your calculator, and that's it. And whatever you're writing about. Any other questions? When you're done with the test, you can be working on Delta Math, be on your phone, sleep, up to you. Yes. That was for. Don't forget. I was just saying. So that I remember how to work on. So you don't do that. In high school, you don't do those. You just do one.
I did. I still
Yes. After your test, if you're still here, fine. Or next class will be let's say or medicine. Yes.
What?
So think about
Uh-huh.
3 times 12 is the same as 4 times 3, right? You get the same answer.
Hashahana.
So these are the
Yeah, there, man.
Chill, you gotta stop. Like, stop saying that, bro.
Rosh Hashanah.
Raj, Ashana.
Rosh Hashanah.
I'm coming back.